Everybody, it is Brittanyychristiansen here, and today I'm going to be filming a get ready with me / story time on how I met my husband. So I recently got married on August 8th, 2018 to my best friend, and we've been together for about 3 years, and then we got married. Knew a lot of the same people that I knew, and he also worked with my little sister, but we had yet introduced each other formally, so we never kicked it or anything like that. But he reached out to me and I responded, and it was just that. So then he sent me a message and he responded with what's up, and his last name happened to be Christiansen. And he had an older brother who went to school who was very popular. Everybody knew who his older brother was. And when I found out that he was, who he was, little brother, I was like, what? Since when did Chris have a little brother? I would have been on that. You feel me? Basically, he contacted me, and at the time I wasn't living in Vallejo, and he was. I had moved to Vacaville because I just needed to get out of Vallejo for a while. And so when he reached out to me, I just thought it was how everybody else reaches out to you, just what's up, And so he actually asked to hang out. And we made plans to hang out, and he actually flaked. So I was just whatever, on to the next. I started talking to other people and just doing my thing. And then a couple of weeks go by and he hits me up again, and we arranged to hang out again. And I don't know about you, but when you meet somebody you don't know, I get really nervous. I get hella nervous. And so I was waiting and anticipating it, and I tried to back out of us meeting. And so we had never talked, but we had messaged each other and all this stuff. And so he then proceeded to call me after I had texted him trying to back out, and he was like, we're kicking it. I'm on my way. What do you want from the store? And I was like, no, I don't want nothing. He was like, no, for real, what do you want? And I was like, gummy bears. I'm obsessed with gummy bears. So gummy bears truly are the way to my heart. And so he was like, okay, listen to this song. And so he told me to listen to Bryson Tiller's Don't. And at that time, I had never heard it. And once I heard it, as he's on the way to me, that kind of set the tone for the date. I was like, okay, he's obviously interested, and it just got me a little excited, I don't know. And I got hella excited. And so I was really nervous, freaking out, oh my god, what am I gonna wear? I gotta get ready, he's actually about to come, what am I about to do, And so we arranged to hang out, and he, at this time I was living in Vacaville in this apartment complex, and so he pulls up, and I'm inside the gate, and he walks over, he puts his arm around me, and he walks over to the car, and he opens the door like a gentleman. And back then, all we wanted to do is sit down and get to know each other, so we posted, and he rolled up, and we decided to smoke a backwood. I'm trying to decide what palette I'm gonna use. I'm torn between the Supernova or the Juvia's palette. I think I'm gonna use both today. Anywho, so I tried to back out. We decided to kick it. He comes, and we end up going to go post up and smoke by in the beginning of the parking lot area. By the way, I need to mention this palette is just so beautiful. It's the Supernova by BH Cosmetics. But one thing I will say about it that I don't like is that green thing constantly has fallen out ever since this one right here. The Pisces color has constantly fallen out ever since I got this palette. But I'm gonna use it for a base color. after I go ahead and put my base highlight on. I got this from my maid of honor. Seriously, it looks like it was an affordable palette, and it makes me feel so expensive. I just need you to know that. It's by BYS Highlighter Palette. Y'all don't even know what this thing does, and I actually do use this as a base. So I will be doing that. Anywho, so he and I are posted up, you know, chilling or whatever. And he's telling me, he proceeds to, you know, tell me how, you know, and I was feeling him, like I actually was liking on him or whatever. And I was like hella nervous, and he and I are talking. He was like, well, honestly, like, you're my girlfriend. Like, we were talking, we were vibing, and he told me, like, by the end of the night, he was like, well, you're my girlfriend. And he actually texted the girl. He was like, look, and he texted one of his old, like, boos or whatever that he was talking to. And he was like, I got a girlfriend, I'm not trying to talk to you no more. She was like, okay, whatever. And so I was actually shocked by that, but honestly, like, back then I was used to all guys just playing games, so I really didn't believe him. And so we were vibing, whatever, smoking, chilling. He had told me that I was his girlfriend. We're hanging out, and I, you know, it had come time for us to separate and for me to leave. And so we ended up texting, you know, and at that time we would always talk in the mornings. And so that day he knew I was at work. So he came, we kicked it, and we ended up texting the next day. And he basically says, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm at work, and I was actually finished training, and I happened to be talking to one of my coworkers about how she works with her boyfriend there at Olive Garden. And she was like, yeah, so do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, well, I am talking to this guy. And as I'm telling her, I look over, and here comes this white boy walking into the restaurant. Mind you, it's my second day at work. We had only kicked it once. And I look over, and here is this fine white boy walking in with some Nike shoes, like dipped. And it was him. I thought he was crazy. Like, I wanted to run for the hills, to be honest. But he was dead serious. And I was like, what are you doing? He was like, you're my girlfriend, right? I'm here to pick you up from work. And so he just swept me off my feet. Mind you, it all started on Instagram. Yes, Instagram. And so we ended up going on dates, and it just led one thing to another. And I actually felt like I manifested this man. Like, I would write for all the qualities and pray for all the qualities that I wanted in a man, and I got that in him. And he was right in my backyard the whole time. Like, he lived in Vallejo, you know? We went to the same school together. I just really believe in timing, and I feel like there's a season for everything. And I feel like if we would have met back then, we wouldn't have happened the way that we happened so organically. Even though it did start on Instagram, it was like, seriously, like he was my soulmate. Like, I literally can tell you, like, from that day on that he showed up at my job, and I thought he was a little crazy for that, he just ended up having me fall in love with him slowly and surely. And it's just a blessing. Like, I really truly remember that holiday. I was around nothing but couples, and I remember telling my mom, oh, don't trip. And mind you, I had not even talked to TJ yet. And I was like, don't trip, my future husband, he's with his family this year, but I'm gonna be with him next year. And little did I know that next month I would be with my future husband. So that is how my husband and I met. I didn't get to finish this look, but so right now I'm going to be using the Steve Laurent blush from my Ipsy bag. It is amazing. I'm going to show you guys how I finish this off. I normally just put the Steve Laurent blush on my cheeks, a little bit here. Then, last but not least, my favorite part of the makeup process, I'm going to be using Morphe's highlighter Spark, the highlight color Spark. What? Like, yes. And you guys, that's it. Here's the finished look. One of these days I will post a tutorial, a get ready with me, a better one. Bear with me as I get my equipment for this channel. I hope you guys like the final look. I will have all the products that I use in the description. I hope you guys all have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to also push that notification bell so you could be notified every time I post a video. Okay, I hope you guys all enjoyed and have a beautiful day. Let's just go ahead and take a look at this makeup. Like, what? God is good. Okay. So I hope you guys all have a blessed day. I'm telling you, this Morphe highlight is life. It's giving me life right now. Look, like, put a little more. Just wow. Beautiful. So you guys all have a great day. Ciao.